Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Now, since it is tax season, I decided to make a quick video in order to explain a little bit about taxes, about filing taxes, more so from the immigrant perspective. Because, you know, if you were born here or if you grew up in the United States of America, you know, it's a little bit easier because every year, you know when the tax season is. You know what's happening. A lot of people use CPAs, the accountants. Some people use like mainstream services, CPA services like H&R Block. They get their basically responsibility of filing taxes from themselves and just give it to somebody else to do it for them. But as an immigrant, it might be a little bit overwhelming. And I know for a fact, because I've been there and I started in this country as an adult. And, it was, I came here and then a year later I had to file taxes. And to me, it was like, what is it? What does it mean to file taxes? How do I do it? I mean, there's all these commercials, file taxes with us, file taxes with us. Where do I go? Who do I choose? And of course, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. So this video is for, obviously, because this is free immigration help channel. Obviously, it's for immigrants. But if you are, if you're not an immigrant, you might find some use from this video as well, hopefully. But starting from from the very beginning and before I even start with, as you can see, I have TurboTax in front of me open. I wanted to mention that filing taxes, especially as an immigrant, is extremely important. Probably one of the most important things that you need to do for your immigration process. Believe it or not, yes, you might think, well, how is it related to the immigration? And I've been here and I didn't worry about it for so long. And believe me, I've been there too. The status that I came with to this country, for a few years I didn't have to file taxes because I didn't work in the United States of America for a few years. So it was completely brand new thing for me. But as you move along further in your immigration process, you get to the residency, you get to the citizenship, you start realizing how important filing these taxes every year is important, and how important it is to be very accurate, very precise with these taxes. So, with all of that being said, you can see I have TurboTax open in front of me. The reason why I have TurboTax open in front of me, now there are a few other platforms that allow you to file taxes yourself. Yes, this is one of those platforms that where you file the taxes basically with the help of, a few tools, online tools, but it's mostly you putting in the numbers, filling out the stuff that you need to fill out. You don't give it to somebody kind of like H&R Block, or there are a few of them out there too. Walmart offers that, where you go, you give all the documents to tax professional and they fill it out all for you. No, you're filling it out all yourself. And I will start with a recommendation for you to do that yourself, not rely on somebody filling it out for you. Why? Well, first of all, it's much easier for someone to make a mistake on your taxes, and I'm saying it from my personal experience, happens a lot whenever you give it to somebody else to do stuff for you. But number two, you also have to be aware of what's going on. What is your tax situation, what deductibles, what credits you're getting, what is going on in general with your finance. I mean, it's important to know that stuff regardless, but especially important whenever it comes to immigration processes. So, with all of that being said, we're gonna get into the actual TurboTax. We're gonna go through a few things. I already registered my account, which is the Immigrant Lab. Is going to be the test account for this one. That's why I call it Immigrant Lab. But it's very straightforward. I'll put the link in the description below. All you're putting your email, you're putting your username, you're putting your phone number. That's really it. Alright, so I'm gonna sign in, and I haven't done anything in the account just yet at all. Looks like there is. Nope, there is not. I haven't done anything in the account just yet, so it's gonna look exactly for you as this when you first time log in. So basically TurboTax, like I said, it's just software, web software, that allows you to file your taxes yourself. So I'm going to click Let's Go, and tell us a bit about you and your taxes. I want to maximize deduction credit. I have a job, received W-2, I paid rent, I own a home, I have children, I donated to charity, I have unemployment, I have stock, I'm self-employed, I'm a freelancer. So as you can see, there are a bunch of options, and you can select everything that applies to you. All right. So in this case, we're going to use our John Doe example. John Doe immigrated from Brazil, and he currently is here in the United States of America. He works, and he has a full-time job, W-2 job. All right, which is most likely common what you will have. Some of you guys might be self-employed, so it will be either the choice between, whenever it comes to your job, is going to be W-2 or self-employed. So W-2, basically you're full-time employee for some company somewhere, right? You're receiving this W-2, even if it's part-time, W-2, right? If you're working for somebody. If you're working for yourself, if you have your own business, if you're, doing contract stuff, then you're going to be self-employed. In this example, we'll stick to the W-2, but with the only main difference between these two whenever it comes to filing taxes is that with the self-employed, being self-employed, because it is your own business, you can also file the expenses that are associated with this business. So for example, if you're a construction worker, right, you're an independent contractor, and you do construction work, so you're let's say you're driving around, you're paying for gas. Now this is associated with your business, so you can submit these expenses. With W-2, you cannot do stuff like that because you're working for somebody else. So that would be the only main difference. But again, we're not going to get into that much detail in this video. It's just kind of more of a brief example of how easy it is to file taxes yourself, the importance of filing taxes yourself, and just kind of a navigation for the immigrants who are doing it for the first time, or maybe the second time, or at least doing it first time by themselves. So our John Doe is gonna have a W-2 job, and he pays rent. He doesn't own a home yet. He doesn't have any kids, any dependents. He's not a freelancer. He doesn't have any stock. He doesn't have any unemployment. He didn't donate to charity. And sure, he wants to maximize deductions and credits, because who doesn't, right? So continue. How comfortable do you feel doing your own taxes? I'm comfortable doing my own taxes. I can do most of it, but want experts to help and check my work. I just want a tax expert to handle everything for me. So as you can see, TurboTax also offers, just like a lot of other companies out there, where they do everything for you, right? But we're gonna save money first of all, because we're gonna do it ourselves, and we're also gonna learn how to do it, because we want to be on top of everything that is happening in our life, immigration process and taxes, because it's important. All right, so based on your answers, this is the right pricing and level to help. So as you can see, state additional, start for free, pay only when you file, only $40. Very simple. As you can see, it's not expensive at all. But then you have the assisted ones, which are more expensive, but we're not gonna do that. So that's what we're gonna stick with, start for free. And it should take us to the main panel where we are. Yep, let's go. So first name John, and he's a made-up character. Date of birth, we're gonna put January 1st, 1980. All right, and the zip code, we're gonna put 11501. Yes, that's our test zip code. Okay, so I live outside. Nope, I don't. So let's go. So to give you a little bit of a brief background for John Doe that I use always in all my examples, he's an immigrant from Brazil. He came here on a tourist visa or student visa. I think he came on student visa, I don't remember. But then he filed for the asylum, and he got approved for the asylum. And yes, he got his Employment Authorization Document, so he's working. He's not a resident yet. He did not apply for a green card just yet, because he's still waiting for that year to elapse after receiving the asylum status. But because he's working, he needs to file now his first taxes. Okay, so how do you do your taxes last year? Didn't file taxes last year. How are you feeling about doing your taxes? Well, I'm not sure. Whatever. Let's go. I don't know why these questions are. Tell us about your year. Are you single, married, complicated, single? I don't know what can be complicated. Did any of these apply in 2022? Own a home, paid rent, yes. College student, child dependent, retired, no. So the only thing applied was paid rent. I'll explain why all of these questions are being asked. Did you have any of these things? Income from digital payments, college, vehicle registration fees, child. We're gonna rental income, no. Bank account, interest, charity donations, crypto sales, no. So we'll just continue. Now the reason why TurboTax is asking you all of this, and whether you're doing TurboTax or some other platform, or you're working with a tax professional, they will ask you these questions. Hopefully, if they're a good tax professional, they will ask you these questions. Why? Because if these things apply to you, you might qualify for additional deductibles, additional tax credits, right? So you might save a lot of money. You might receive a bigger refund from the government. Okay, so moving further, you're off to great start, John. Thank you. Your income, right, and your tax breaks. So see, they already prepared everything for us. So we'll just start it up. You're not filing jointly. So John Doe, today's date is 02/14 and 23, and this is just I believe this is the certification that you're okay filing everything in digital format, right? So you don't have to print out anything and mail anything, which makes it much easier. But let's see what this new race mode is. I'm not sure what it is. Goal time 40 minutes. Well, if that's how fast it will take, great. Obviously, I'm not gonna hold you for 40 minutes here. I just really want to show you how simple it is. Okay, so as you can see, this is already pre-filled. John Doe, middle name. All of the stuff is blank because John Doe doesn't have middle name, date of birth. Social security number, obviously you're going to need that to file taxes. That's what the social security, one of the main reasons why we have social security numbers for. So you will enter your social security, you will enter your occupation, job, and obviously you will answer all these questions. Member of military, no. State, residence, yes. New York, 11501 is in New York. I lived in another state, yes, no. Another taxpayer can claim me as dependent, meaning that somebody else can claim you as dependent. Dependent basically is someone who is living with you in the household and who you're providing for. So kids most of the times are mainly our dependents. I was considered legally blind. I'm preparing this return for John, who passed away. No. I want to change the language the IRS uses. No. All of that, no. So I'm going to take you to the the main tax return. Once you fill out all of that information and click continue, it will take you here to the federal. And I'll show you a couple of things here so that you know really what it is. So when you are working, right, in the United States of America, like I said, there are two different ways of doing the job, of working. It's W-2 work, full-time work if you're working for somebody, or it's 1099 independent contractor, right? You're basically your own business. So in this example, I said W-2 for John, but basically W-2 and 1099 are the tax forms. Once you have worked for somebody, right? You did full-time job, part-time job, contractor job, right? Contracting job. You will receive the tax forms at the end of the year, not at the end of the year, in the beginning of the new year, for your previous tax year, right? So for example, you did some work in 2022. In 2023, around January, February, you will receive from your employer or from whoever hired you to do contract job, as long as it's more than $600, you will receive these tax forms. W-2 if you were working for somebody, full-time, part-time, and 1099 if you were working for someone as your own business, right? You are independent contractor. So in our example, John worked for somebody for W-2, so he will receive the W-2 around January, February, all right, from his employer. And that W-2 basically, it's like I said, it's a tax form. It has your name, it has all your employer's information, and it will have the important information that you will have to fill out here. One of those things is going to be employer identification number, and I'll just do 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 just for the example purposes. And you can upload it. You can take a picture of it with your phone, or you can type it in yourself. We're going to click type it in yourself so that you can see what kind of information is on the W-2, right? So you're going to have your employer tax identification, employer identification number, which is EIN. Basically, it's a tax number for your employer, just like we individuals have social security number. Companies, they have their EIN number. All right, so you're gonna put your employer name, employer address, all zip code, all of that information is going to be in the W-2. All right, moving further, employee information, that is you. All right, social security number, your social security number, your name, as you can see, already pre-filled, John Doe. All right, the address. So once you click continue, you know what, I'm gonna put it in test, I spelled it wrong, 123 Street, 11501, same zip code. Let's do, yep, Mineola, New York. This is information. I think we only need this, 123 Street. Let's see if that works, because I want to show you. There we go. Okay, so that's the second part of W-2, and again, you will have all that information in there because it will show exactly how much wages you've made. Federal income tax withheld, you're gonna have all that information filled out, and it will be numbered the same way. Box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4, all of that information is going to be in the W-2. So all of that information, just fill it up here, and it will show how much money you made total, gross income, right? How much taxes out of that gross income you already paid. All of that information is going to be there. So whatever is there, fill it out. If it's, for example, if you don't have social security tips, obviously you leave it blank. All right, and then if you have any box 13, box 14, any state taxes, in New York obviously they do have state taxes, in Florida there is no state taxes. So all of that, right, once you fill it all out, continue, you add. That's really it. With the deductions and credits, all of this stuff is calculated by TurboTax automatically. You will enter all the information you did, again, rent, how much you paid. It will, if I'm not sure if there is any, I haven't rented anything in a very long time, so I don't remember if there's any tax forms that you receive being a renter. I don't think there is, but if there is, you will receive. So basically, everything that you need to file in the beginning of the year for the previous year, for previous tax year, you will be receiving those forms. So around January, you should start, getting into your TurboTax account, filling out all the information. In the middle of the February, you probably will receive all the forms that you needed to receive, and obviously by April you need to file all of that stuff. Now, one other thing that I wanted to show you was wages and income. Did you make any money from the interest? No. No. I want to show you something so that you know that there is really no guessing. There is no guesswork. TurboTax takes all the guesswork out of it. So wages, let's say John Doe, right? That's the W-2 that he received. Let's say he was working and he made $24,765 total for the whole year. Now, if we click federal income tax withheld, right? So that's the information that is going to be in the W-2 also, because most likely the employer, whoever hired John Doe, he will tell him, hey, we're going to be withholding 5% because otherwise you will end up owing too much tax. So let's say they did 5%, and roughly, my math is pretty bad, so I'm going to say it came out to $2,000 in taxes. So if we click that and do continue, you will see that automatically it shows in federal refund $786, there will be a refund. And in New York state taxes, they will take away the $728. So at the end of the day, $786 plus and then $728 minus. Okay, that's because we didn't enter the New York state information. Obviously, we will, because the state taxes will be withheld as well on your W-2. You will have that information. But the point of me showing you this is because as you enter that information, right, that financial information, your numbers will immediately update here. So in green, 786, it means positive, you're getting it back. Negative, it means you will have to pay it. So obviously, if this is bigger than this, this will be negated from the federal, and your refund will be obviously that minus that, which is not the correct numbers right now, obviously, because I didn't enter state information. But you get the point. So there is no mystery for you, as you're filing, how much I'm gonna owe taxes, how much I'm gonna get back. Everything before you even file, you will be able to see it here. And I'm sure there are other platforms that have it the same way, but that's one of the reasons why I like TurboTax, is because it's very straightforward with them. There's no really guesswork. Once you're done with all that, you file the taxes. I recommend filing it online because it is much faster. Just like I always recommend filing online all the immigration forms that we review on this channel. But it's usually takes about two to 3 weeks it takes only about a couple days for the IRS to accept your tax return, and then about 2-3 weeks for you to actually get that refund if you have any refund coming in, which you will know if you are, because it shows right here. So I'm gonna cut the video here because it's getting already too long, and I was planning to make it kind of short. But with the tax season, again, if your immigration process, especially important, taxes, stay on top of your case. Taxes, obviously, stay on top of your case, immigration case as well. I recommend filing taxes yourself. The sooner you start doing it, the faster you will get used to it. The better you will get. You will have the understanding, and I believe that we all need to understand this process, what it is for, what does it entail. So if you have any questions, as always, you can drop them in the comments below. If you haven't watched any of my videos, I try to do every week, go through all your comments, answer them in the live video. And so if whatever you comment, whichever video you comment on this channel, I will be able to see it and get to it with the answer. So as always, thank you for watching. Hopefully this video was helpful. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.